Have a lovely.
All right. Well, Kevin, that was quite an intro there, musical intro. All right. Well, hey, everybody. It's Steve Curtin, the CEO of the Gypsy Nurse here, and we have another live Gypsy Nurse session starting now with the great team from Nurses 24/7, who are going to talk about the personal touch that Nurses 24/7 provides to the travel nursing community. We have Kevin Malicki, the VP and COO of Nurses 24/7, Kevin Grimes, the recruiting manager, and Marion McLean, the chief nursing officer from Nurses 24/7. Welcome, guys. It's great to see you.
Great to see you, Steve.
Thanks for having us, Steve. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for taking a few minutes here to talk to our community about Nurses 24/7 and how you differentiate yourself in terms of the staffing industry. Obviously, the market is very hot right now, and I think many nurses are looking to make choices relative to what's going to work out best for them in terms of assignments and organizations to work with and so forth. So we really look forward to hearing from you and the team about Nurses 24/7 and how you work with the travel nursing community. So happy to turn it over to you guys. I know you have some information to bring to the community and looking forward to hearing all about it.
Excellent.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks again, Steve. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So definitely we want to start off. Obviously, we want to thank Steve and Rachel again for giving us this opportunity to jump on the Gypsy Nurse and come on and really talk about a topic that means a lot to our core business. I am Kevin Grimes. I am the recruiting manager. I've been with Nurses 24/7 for 2 fantastic years. I have about 14 years of healthcare recruiting experience, and it's given me the opportunity to really learn about different aspects of recruiting and really build relationships that I think helps me be an effective recruiter. Outside of being a recruiter, I'm also a high school basketball coach, and I have a 3-week-old at home that is keeping me up all night long, so don't mind the dark circles under my eyes. But I love what I do, and I love helping people, and super excited to be on here with you guys today. So I am going to pass it off to Marion as we continue our just short introductions today.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us. We're very excited to be here to talk about what we can bring to you as the nurse looking for to work in agency nursing. A little bit about myself. I have been a critical care nurse for 18 years now. Worked in critical care, open heart surgery, and the ER most recently. I've been with Nurses 24/7 for 16 years. 3 of those I worked as a agency nurse. I took a job with Nurses 24/7 as a 3-month assignment, and it wound up being 3.5 years. So that was amazing. And then I was brought on as their CNO, and I've been the CNO for the last 13 years. I came to Nurses 24/7 because of how well they treated me in the beginning and asking me about assignments and what I was looking for, and really worked with me as opposed to telling me what was out there. Really wanted to know what was I looking for and what area did I want to be in, and it's been a great experience, and I was glad to join the team and add to that experience for nurses going forward. I still work in the field today, every day, every week. I work in the ER, so I still keep up my clinical skills, and I still know everything that you guys are going through as well. I'm gonna pass you over to Kevin, our VP and COO. You're muted, Kevin.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. As Steve and my team had stated, my name's Kevin Malicki. I'm the Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at Nurses 24/7. I've also had the utmost pleasure of being one of the originals, having opened our door back in 2002. It's my pleasure to be a part of this organization for so long and see it grow. About 20 years of healthcare staffing experience under my belt, a majority of which 19 long years of my life has been with Nurses 24/7. The others have been in home care and a little bit of allied arena. But yes, I have actually been in healthcare staffing longer than I haven't been in healthcare staffing, so it's pretty cool. I also want to thank Gypsy Nurse for the opportunity to really get on here and really just kind of demonstrate and talk about how we feel we offer a little bit more of a personal touch to you, the professional. I also really want to take time to thank all of the healthcare professionals as well as the frontline responders for how they handled not just COVID, but really for everything they do every day. This is our business, this is our industry, but it is your livelihood, and you do quite well at it. I would also like to thank two other important groups real fast. One being our Nurses 24/7 team and family, an internal group of personnel that are 150% dedicated to the growth and development of the services that we offer to our professionals and to our medical centers. We are blessed to have a group of individuals that have really prided themselves on dedicating themselves to you, the professional in the medical centers. And last but certainly not least, a special shout out, if you will, to all of the wonderful Nurses 24/7 nurses that are out there. I can't speak enough about how, again, blessed we are to have you as part of our family. You truly represent us. We do not represent you. And I could say, go these last several months, or last year with COVID has an exclamation point on the true value and appreciation that we have for you. So, it's about you. It's always been about you. When we opened doors here back in 2002, our motto is that our nurses are special. Hats off to all of you, and we're looking forward to sharing some information with you today that we hope it'll be useful and allow you to learn more information about us. Please drop questions that you have to answer them. Again, as stated, the topic of conversation here is a personal touch. We're not coming on here saying that we've solved any riddle or we are above and beyond everybody else that's out there. We're simply stating that we feel like our personal touch to the industry as a whole is special in a way. It's special because we entered into healthcare at a time when it wasn't low fruit. It was kind of eat or be eaten. And to see it grow and evolve from 2002 to where we are today, and wow, 2021, it's a long time, and it's a lot to digest. Things changed. The industry changed. The services changed. The medical centers, some have come and gone. But the one thing that to really remain constant in all of this was you, the professional. And it's truly been an honor for me to have spent 26 years of my adult life, really catering to your wants and needs and doing whatever we can to benefit you. Really want to kind of start things off today. And Marion and Kevin, please jump in whenever you feel fit. With kind of starting you out in how or why we feel this personal touch, where it started and where it begins within our organization. Let's face it, it starts with recruiting. A healthcare staffing firm is not a healthcare staffing firm without a quality recruitment base. And yes, we do the job blastings, and yes, we post money out there, and we do a lot of what a lot of other firms do. But what we really focus in on is putting you, the nurse, first. One of the things that are taught, or I train in the beginning of someone's recruitment endeavors, is I use the analogy that you're the pro athlete, we're your agent. There should be nothing that you say or do in a recruitment call that warrants a negative reaction. There's no right or wrong. It's important that we make sure that you're aware that we want to know your wish list. We want to know exactly what it is that we as a company can do for you. Yes, it's in our nature to always try to do in a that we feel might benefit. But certainly it's your wish list. This is, your painting. You draw it and allow us to do the best that we can to satisfy you. In our recruitment approach, it's less talk, more absorption. That's one thing I learned a long time ago in my healthcare career is that the more you find yourself talking, the less likely you are to have accomplished what you want to accomplish. And, I enjoy speaking to the nurses. I still recruit as VP and Chief Operating Officer of the company. I still roll my sleeves up and join Kevin and his team to do some of the recruiting. I find it to be fun. It's the heart and the lifelong organization. So certainly that's something that we really focus in on is really wanting you to have a voice, to have a podium while you're on those recruiting calls. It's important that we learn everything that you want to know about. You know what you know, you don't know what you don't know. We like to take the approach that you are professionals in what you do, and we are professionals in what we do. We will do our very best to cater to your needs, but want to always offer you a secondary or third option that might make sense the way we see it from this point of view. I think we can all agree that the point of views they can vary from to nurse, person to person, company to company, and it's our job to make sure that we have a finger on the pulse of exactly what it is that you want to do, but are also very conscientious with you're kind of asking us to provide some guidance. So it behooves us to go ahead and give you some guidance there. And really just kind of keeping all options on the table with regards to opportunities. Yes, travel. This is a travel forum. This is a travel initiative. But traveling, as you're going to see across for years to come, is going to go through its evolutionary stages itself. They're not. Everything right now is the cookie cutted 13 weeks, 36 hours or 48 hours. We're trying to put a little twist on that to the needs of a larger portion of the nurse population, as well as the clients, the clients. When I say clients, I mean medical facilities have different needs and needs changing, every day. Kev, Marion, do you have to add to that?
I love the terminology that Kevin uses. We give the nurses a canvas and we ask them to paint their masterpiece. And I think as recruiters, it's so important. And I think it really gives the nurses the opportunity to build their perfect assignment.
Yeah, and speaking to the client and what the client's needs are, many times we get blasted out the jobs as the 13-week date, end at this date, every other weekend, the basic assignment, and a lot of them do that way. However, we do find that there's hospitals that have, such great needs that we work with someone who's willing to do, a 2-day or every weekend, or, if there's something that you would like to do in a special, would like to do it, bring that to and let us see what we can work with. Again, Kevin, explained that, we'll tell you what we know from and what works best with us for the most part. But we are not shy about going to the medical center and saying, hey, this may work out well for both parties. Again, give us what your idea is. We'll do our best to get to that and steer you to the right direction, very close.
Yeah, and once again, recruiting certainly, one in this relationship. Like I said earlier, it is one of any quality healthcare company. Once we get through the recruitment aspect of it, and everything that there is to know about you as the professional. We then turn it over to what we call our client liaisons. Our client liaison individuals that ultimately will take all of the information that was obtained by the recruiter that you shared and kind of now do options. What are the options now? Knowing what we know now, what are our paths? Certainly if there's facilities of interest, geographical preferences of interest. Those are things that we want on. So we kind of, grab what we call those pain points in the sales world is how do we cater to the pain points? We task our liaisons with we came up with this terminology a long time ago back, and there's probably someone watching now that'll laugh, say, they are they are to do whatever it takes. That's terminology that came out, many, many years ago. And that's truly, again, another thing that's kind of stuck for 9 years, was it is about whatever. It's about whatever it takes to find you that opportunity that certainly would allow you to, and that perfect position. We also, want to even go as far as maybe even assisting you with the resume. It's often how often are we receiving resumes, or if you're a quality nurse and you're out working every day, how often do you have an opportunity to update? These are things that we to help you, to assist you, listen to say, and help you guide, in the building process. Because in this day and age, a lot of medical facilities, especially the ones that are being catered to by, VMS or MSPs, are working almost exclusively off of resumes. So the liaisons will spend time to go through to make sure that we're not doing a haphazard submission. You get one chance to make a good first impression. You don't want a hacked up resume really to be the thing that hinders you from being able to land the position itself.
Right, 100%. And that's a really, really good point. So the resume, skills checks, the things that as nurses, we just want to get them off our plate because we're not paper people. We just want to get the job and get in there and do it. For us to get you the job that you're seeking and to put you in the best possible light, which is what our job is to do, the liaisons will take time with you and go through how to make you shine in the process of all these going out to these medical centers, put you on the top of the list. And that's a really important part that as nurses, speaking for myself, we would skip over because, there we can show them what we do and how great we are and see that. But you have to go through the process of HR, hospitals at these, and then going to the manager and then fill out. So how do we make you, and that is something that we take very seriously, is that we're just not throwing everybody's resume out there and for the best. We do everything we can to make you stand out as one of our nurses.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. I mean, as clinicians, we're not here to judge uniquely. Part of step one in this process is to kind of what I always say, dance floor. Let's get you dancing, and then allow your thing. And a lot of that has to do with, and it's why as an agency that we're so we pay so much close attention to the finite details of a resume, because the way that this healthcare industry, staffing industry, has kind of evolved, it's now entered in a couple other elements into the equation. Whether it be an MSP or a VMS, whether that be or a staff or a portal of some sort. We want to give you the opportunity to demonstrate yourself clinically, whether it be with a nurse manager or a hiring manager. And that's why we put so much emphasis on the initial staffing profile phase of it, to follow certain criteria. But it's not just about following criteria. It's about, listen, if we're going to devote ourselves to you, we've got to do it the right way. And our devotion to you, staying away from, haphazardly, and making sure that we're not playing a role in you not getting a position, which is why we close attention to that. We talk about, obviously everyone talks about compensation, and certainly we'll aggressive dating company, a customizable compensation company. We believe in not only fighting for the top dollar or fighting for the highest compensation, but listening to each and every individual and what it is that they need, what it is that they want. Not to say because we're going to pay less or more, but listen, let's face it, we're all human. We all have different bullet points or different things that make us tick. So I really want to throw out there that while we're sitting here fighting for these wonderful and well-deserved comp packages. We're also listening to how the structure of these things need to be laid out to best benefit you, the individual. Because when we're on the phone with you're the individual or the focus, and we'll always be that way. A couple things that we've kind of into place or had in place is, yes, everyone's talking about the amount in which we get compensated, which again is well deserved. It's also the speed we're compensated. Nurses 24/7 will be and is one of the fastest payers in the town, or in the industry, I should say, not just the town. That would be pretty small, but in the industry, and we offer same day cash on a Visa card. We offer daily direct deposits. We want to make sure you understand how important it is that you be paid for the services that you rendered. And one of the things that we absolutely pride ourselves on is a clean, efficient payroll process. Money will be in your account when you get it. Money can be on your cash card when you get out of work. It's just something that we believe in, something that we feel you're deserving, and we want to make sure that it's the amount, but also the timeliness in which you get compensated. Then that we've kind of put in place early in the game, but it's really stuck, and it caters to others. We know that a lot of the travel world has a tendency to be 2 weeks pay periods. We have never direction. We will stick to the weekly and or the daily compensation, which I think is important. Throughout our learning experience, throughout our growth or evolution, we quickly realized that, and as the world goes crazy right in front of our eyes, is benefits, medical benefits, being a top priority to families. I mean, it's no lie. I mean, we can all sit here and tell our stories about how medical benefits are just getting, they're not governed by anything there. So we constantly, year after year, are looking at bettering our compensation, bettering our benefit package. When we started out, we had a waiting period. Through the evolution growth, we've adopted day one eligibility. Not only day ability for the nurse, but to the family and dependents as well, which is extremely important. We have a comprehensive medical benefits package, the same package that myself and my family are on. We also offer the nurses 2 or 3 other options because we, again, just like everything else, just like the theme, everyone's different, but we wanted to make sure that we want for you, ourselves would want. And that's what we did. So it's still a fight year after year with benefits will never change. I'll be in the office with Chris and Marion, and we'll be going through, what are our decisions regarding medical, because there'll be a hike of some sort. But again, the time and energy spent on that is to benefit you, which is extremely important because it doesn't matter how much we make. If we don't have medical benefits, that money can seem obsolete really fast. There is along with the medical is which I feel I'm pretty proud that we offer is a good comprehensive vision as well. We did our homework. And we added the normal people would need. So a good dental and a good vision program, self and your loved ones is extremely important to us. We feel as though these things will keep you in here for the long term. We want you to be a part of our organization for a long term. Yes, we know that people come and go, but we're going to do our best to make sure that we keep you in-house, listening to everything that you have to say. I'm happy that again through a couple of experiences with nurses and just hearing something fine. We partnered with Colonial Health. And we hit a home run with a couple other voluntary benefits packages. So again, to bring you in and bring you closer to the organization, we're going to go ahead and offer you a retirement plan. We have a disability coverages. Some of the state disability packages which I know Marion is on, are not good. So we're given an opportunity to have enhanced disability coverage, critical illness, accidental insurance, medical bridge insurance, a big one, life insurance. We're offering you a company-sponsored life insurance plan. It's voluntary, of course. And then from my personal experience, I don't know if any of you out there have been hit with this, but there's a lot of fraud and theft going on. So we partnered with LifeLock to help, and now have a company-sponsored LifeLock plan for all our fees. I unfortunately, as well as a couple other people that I know, have fallen victim to identity theft, and it's very thin. But I'm not here to plug LifeLock, any kickbacks from them. But I can just say that it works, and it gives you peace of mind. So those are some pretty important things that we felt that was necessary in listening to our nurses out there, seeing some of the experiences that some of our nurses were, I would say, unfortunately going through as it related to disability and stuff like that, made it necessary for us to kind of jump on things. The next one I'm going to share, I'm going to give off to Marion because I know that she wants to jump on that one. Go ahead, Marion. Can't hear you. Unmute down at the bottom.
Thank you. Not technical.
You almost lost your chance.
You're passing off. I'm sorry. What to me?
You did CEUs. Right? Follow the bullets.
Oh yes. So, well, I was just touch on your benefit package and how we came to that benefit package on the topic of a personal touch to the nurses. This was something that we looked into because of our experience with the nurses. I've had nurses, especially in New York City, that may have had pointed to be out on, and found out just from disability for them that they get $100 a week, and you wouldn't know that until you need it. So it was important for us to look for something to help protect our nurses. We don't live in New York, where that's not going to be an issue for us. But it was heartbreaking to see these nurses find out that, how anybody lives on $100 a week, especially in New York, is insane. So that was one of the things that drove us to say, we need to do something else for these nurses. So we are looking out for you, even though you don't know we're looking out for you. These things we take seriously. We're very we have good experiences and longevity with a lot of our nurses, and we take it to heart when something happens to them, and want to make sure that we can protect other people going forward. So that was one of the reasons why we did go into that. So the life insurance, the 401k, all of these things are things I'm really proud to offer, and really hope that people take advantage of it, because I think it will make like Kevin said, longevity because we like I said, I started with a 3-month contract. I never imagined I'd be 18 years later, but I certainly thought I was going to do as most agency nurses do, one contract and they move on. Our company really does want to retain the great professional nurses that we hire. Going back to the CEUs is one of the things that I kind of spearheaded, and I'm proud of that program. We offer 100% free CEUs to all of our nurses. Some CEUs are required for, as you know, most nurses, have to have your stroke CEUs. Trauma is required in some trauma centers, and sometimes just certain classes that hospitals want you to take. Above and beyond that, we offer free CEUs 100% all year round, anytime you want to take them. They are online, and there's lots of great webinars. So education is important as a nurse, as you know, not just because you need the CEU numbers, but because there might be something that you're interested in. There might be a new science topic that you're interested in, new procedures that you're interested in. All things can be found on a website. You do today. And not to mention that you need license. You know, and we take the time to remind everybody every year, because I see nurses come in and they got audited, you know, randomly from the Board of Nursing, and it cost them $250 if they didn't finish their CEUs, and that's tragic for no reason, you know. So now you got to hit on it, and you have to pay the board $250. It's a moneymaker for them, and you know, I appreciate that they want us to make sure that we're educated, but I want to make sure that you don't have to pay $250. We for that CEUs, and those transcripts stay with us forever. So you can, you know, I've had nurses call me 3 years later and say they're auditing me. Do you have those transcripts? And I was able to pull them up for them. So so you have a place to keep your records and to make sure that you have everything at no cost to you. And that is one of the things that I'm truly proud of. Education in nursing is needs to be ongoing. It's impossible not to keep yourself educated. Thank you, Kevin, for allowing me to speak to that.
Not allowing. Yeah, it is such a part. Marion, being a clinician herself, I mean, it should be passionate. She should be passionate about it. It means a lot. It means a lot to you as the professional. So yeah, I mean, that was one thing that Nurses 24/7 was very, very much in tune with is making sure that we not only, you know, had these CEUs, but we offered them to awesome staff that has given us an opportunity to work with them and given it to them, free of charge. I think that's a beautiful thing. In addition to that, you know, a couple of the bullet points that we want to add as far as, listen, we live in a world, and if you, the nurse, work in a profession that, has its liabilities. So, you know, one of the things that we did and we felt very passionate about was offering company paid for. So every professional nurse that works or represents Nurses 24/7 is covered with their in 3 policy that Nurses will cover. In addition, company insurance that's available as well. Fortunately, let's call it what it is. I mean, we live in a sue happy society, and I've been doing this long enough. I'm sure Kevin and Marion have been doing it enough to see the unfortunate situations that go on. Nurse XYZ can be on a floor of a medical where there was an unfortunate situation or a turn, and all of a sudden here comes the lawsuit for everyone who has stepped foot in the facility for the last week and a half. You know, it's important. It's important that we give you peace of mind. It's important that the company feels the obligation to make sure that you understand that we have your backs and that you're covered, and we'd be more than happy for that to you. Free of charge, as well as, obviously the license reimbursing. We know you need a license to operate. If you're working with us, we absolutely will go ahead and take care of you. One of the big pieces of a good quality firm is, referrals. Back in 2002, when we didn't have all of easy technology, we built ourselves strictly on referrals. So the biggest accolade that a professional can give our organization is to want to refer one of their to us. We feel as though we've done our job to the level that meets or exceeds expectations, and you want to refer a friend to us, we're going to go ahead and take that with open arms, run with it. We're going to make sure that individual is taken care of just as good as you are. And we're going to pay out for it. And we're not shy about it. We quality, success, quality breeds quality. And if we can get, if ever done, from day one to now, still have referrals being our largest means of new proposals, then it's saying something. It's saying something, and we want to make sure you're taking for that. One of the couple last things is staying on the payroll. And I don't know how this got pushed all the way down here, but that's my fault. Is the visibility and tax doc. We offer all of our professionals a Paychex Flex site that would allow you to access. We all want to see those pay stubs. We all want to see what Uncle Sam does and doesn't take out of our paychecks. We come tax season, scrounging around for those ugly blue envelopes with twos. We have given agrees to work with us the visibility into Paychex Flex, which is allow view roll, go through and pull their tax forms for all the years that they've been with us. So, Kevin or Maren, you have anything you want to add to that section of the dialogue?
One of my favorite things about our team, and it could be obviously because of my recruiting background, is how great our liaisons are with assisting with resumes. So obviously the nurse professional, the hours are just, their hours sometimes are so intense and they may not be able to jump on and update a resume right away. And our liaisons are just so good with assisting with the resume process and making sure it's perfect before it goes to the submission. So I just love that our liaisons do that. And I think it's just so beneficial to our nurses.
Well said. Well said. And kind of finishing up with the liaison theme is these are individuals that really will burn them in that oil for you. They recognize your hours are different. They are the ones directly responsible for getting that submission out. 2 times that's going to be on a computer-based system or VMS or MSP. So they're oil that they'll take that profile whenever and go ahead and get it out because again they do whatever it takes at how we led into this, which is extremely important. We then to process after the submission. We go through the acceptance phase and then come the onboarding process, which I know. If you're a nurse on here watching this now, it's the eye rolling going on. Yes. The red tape of healthcare staffing is something that will always be there. It'll get better. It'll get worse before it gets better. We feel as though our trained HR professionals are dedicated in making sure that this process is as painless, as streamlined, and as efficient as it possibly can. And generally, we'll take the burden. You give us the time, we'll take the burden from you completely. It doesn't behoove us to go through all the recruiting, go through all the liaising, only to the compliance, not even the compliance, the onboarding section, really kind of steer you away. So we're dedicated. Again, kind of my theme thing is the path of least resistance. We want to make sure that we push through and get the nurses through the onboarding system with relative ease. So as it relates to the application, we are proud to announce that we several months ago had gone to a complete mobile friendly application process. That's something we're very proud of. So not only are we able to allow you to do these things from the comfort of your own home, but we know that not all of you are sitting in front of a laptop like we are. Some of us are, except Kevin, going through the application. We're going to go through a device. So now we're able to do that, which is extremely beneficial to you and us as the organization. We'll outsource basically everything. Provide us with the documentation that you have as far as medical records are concerned. We'll go through them with a fine-tooth comb, and we'll outsource you for everything and anything that you need from a medical perspective. Listen, we love to sit here and tell lies that every medical center has the same medical requirements, but it simply isn't true. Do we understand why this is the case? No, we don't. But it's not for us to understand. It's up for us. It's up to us to, make sure that we give you the clearest, quickest path to getting that stuff taken care of. So we'll outsource everything.
I'm sorry, and Kevin, I just wanted to add in on, again, from a nurse's perspective and the amount of paperwork that is required on every submission is all done mobile. We have all of our documents are on eDocs. They're all mobile, so you can read them all. check off, and at the end you sign them. They sign all the forms in one shot, and they automatically get uploaded into our system. So there's none of that printing out, signing, sending back. Also, our skills checklist is 100% mobile. All our tests are 100% mobile. So all of these things are to make it easier for you to do the onboarding process, as it is with us sending you out for medical if needed. We set you up for your drug screen. We try and do as the least amount of going back and forth for you as possible. We know everybody's busy. We know you all work, different shifts, and we definitely try to accommodate within that. So that makes the onboarding a little bit easier. We can help you find BCLS classes if you need them, ACLS classes. We have great connections with people, and that goes for onboarding and renewal. We have a great compliance team that will remind you when you need to have those things done and help you find the classes to get those done. So we do work with a lot of technology to try and make this as easy as possible on everybody.
Good. Excellent. Yeah, and just a couple of things as we're running here short of time. Again, the standard. We conduct on-site classes. That has COVID has put a little wrinkle on that, but we're going to start to bring those back in again. Fit testing on site. Things that we want to, that we think is pretty cool that we're trying to do is, recognizing the climate as it relates to some of the medical centers and the need for COVID vaccinations. We're opening up an incentive plan for any nurse that's not currently been vaccinated that wants to get vaccinated. We're offering an incentive plan for that as well. It's a big thing, and it's going to be something that's going to be with us for a long time. Again, it's your choice, but our goal is to try to make everything easier for you. So that's what we'd like to do. Orientation preparedness. This is one of the things that I know Marion is a big proponent of. And, one of the things that we make a point to do is to have all of our staff that's being introduced to institutions be introduced to Marion too, and be ready for orientation. I can't imagine how difficult it is for a nurse to pick up and go to a medical center that they've never been in. So we try to gain as much information as we can, dress codes, whatever it may be, a point of contacts. But I know Marion would like to talk a little bit more about the introduction and or the support that you get from nurses 24/7 as it relates to from a clinical perspective, which is, again, one of the biggest highlights that we're going to throw out there is you're not on your own here clinically. You have clinical representation at all times, and we want to make sure that you're aware of that. And Marion is the person that's going to go ahead and do that. So, Marion, why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about your clinical support and exactly the part that you play in all that.
Sure, I would love to. So again, as a nurse and working in other agencies, I went to work and I did my job as expected. But if there was ever any clinical problem, I didn't know that I had somebody to go to. Nurses 24/7 is truly 24/7. We have a staffing person who is a real person on call 24 hours a day, who will answer your call and direct you to the right person. I am on call clinically 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I do not mind people calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning if there's an issue clinically, because that's what we're here for. We're here to support you. And we know that, things may arise in the course of your shift, and not being a staff member, or especially for the nurses that are on nights, not having somebody to go to can be disconcerting, and we want to be able to take that burden off of you. Some of the things that we find are common themes are being floated outside your skill set. That is to never happen. If you're being asked as a med-surg nurse to go to the ICU, a call, an appropriate chain of command at the hospital that this is, you don't feel comfortable with it. You are not clinically comfortable or trained to do so. And then a call directly to me. My cell phone number, like Kevin said, I reach out to the nurses when you start. Most people forget that when they're long into their, but I am clinically on call 24 hours a day. Again, if you ever had a problem, you could call the regular on call and she would direct you to me if you didn't call me directly. But floating outside the skill set, we do not allow that to happen. You know, we would never put you in a situation where you felt that you were, putting the patient's safety at danger or your own license at danger. It is simply not worth it. We handle that. I handle that directly with the supervisors, and we try to come up with a compromise of some sort where you would be moved to another floor and they could move people around. But that's something that I would handle on an administrative end, that you don't have to be involved in. You simply call us, and allow me to take care of that. Orientations, Kevin had touched on orientations. When you go into orientations, one of the things that always made me nervous going into agency orientations is I'd show up and they'd throw a telemetry test at me or a critical care vignette that I was not prepared for. And not that you're obviously as nurses we go in there and we take the test and we hope for the but those tests are tricky. So we make sure to get ahead of all those orientations to find out what paperwork is going to be required of you, to find out what testing, if any, is going to be required of you. And then I make sure that I give you enough information and resources to be prepared for those tests so that you can go in there and succeed. Again, we don't want to go all the way to the finish line to find out that, you got nervous taking a test. That's not fair to you. So we try and get ahead of that. And I do a lot of help with the testing layout prior to, and the policies and procedures. All that stuff is important before you go into a hospital to know what is the expectation of you. And floating, is an expectation. Industry wide is an expectation. But floating to the proper floors, floating with proper orientation, floating with proper resources. Even if you're being floated to a med-surg floor, you need to know where the emergency equipment is. You need codes are. You need to know the expectations and policies and procedures of those floors. That's where I come in. So if you do get floated and you're not comfortable being floated for whatever reason, that call directly to me, and I will make sure that you have a resource to get you that shift. And I will be your resource to that. Doctor's telling you to do something, feeling pressured and you're comfortable and nobody else is listening to you, don't hesitate to call me, because that's what I do. I will give you my clinical opinion, and I will also speak to the facility. I don't ever do anything you don't feel comfortable in. I think every nurse has had that experience where they felt pressure and they did something that their little voice in their head told them not to, and mistakes happen, and to avoid that, you're not alone in the hospital, and that is a point we definitely want to drive home as part of our organization. You are never alone. 24 hours, and we are here to support you and to help you. Errors and reports I get, we're all human. We make mistakes. If errors get reported into us, then we handle them as such. Counseling might be appropriate, an explanation of what happened, revisiting the what we could have done better as a whole. Usually, it's not just a one-person mistake, and we work with the hospitals to make sure that those things don't happen again. But your side of the story is always important. What happened to you? What were you thinking at the time? What is reported to us is not always what happens, and it's important that you bring those attentions over to those things to our attention as well. Because one of the big points we want to let you know is your experience on your assignment is something that to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to hear it. We want to know. We want to know what's going on in the matters. We want to be able to assist you to have the best assignment you can have, and we don't want to be caught off guard if there's something that that's going on, and we'd rather hear it from you. The communication is very important between us and our nurses. That was the to encourage our communication is our finest points. And I just you want to add anything else to that, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, from a non-clinical perspective, because I know we're getting really short of time, and I know there's a couple of things we want to cover, but from a non-clinical perspective, I look at it from the business side of it, and we're all sitting here, probably in mind saying how many times that we thought situations were remedied or clarified or care of, only recipient isn't working out, and then there's a laundry list of things that could have been handled. If we were made aware, we're not trying to micromanage the process, but we want you to know that from our side of the fence, we see things from a different perspective. We have different contact. We've seen these things work out in that are that benefit the nurse and that don't benefit the nurse. And a lot of times the common, if we're made aware of it, you are absolutely not on your own. You're in that medical center. We're a team. And if we're made aware of anything that goes on, the likelihood of panning out it increases dramatically. I mean, it's just a proof that if we're able to jump in and assist you, because that's what we're here to do. Take that burden off of you so you can go ahead and provide quality care to the patients and not deal with some of the other outcomes that, fortunately, day to day, stories can go on and on. We want to hear from our staff that agrees to work with us. We want to, that's the whole theme here, is that we don't want to just be perceived as the company that is making money off of a nurse's hard work. We want to earn our keep. We want to make sure that if people are coming up to you, asking you about medications, if you're having that inevitable run-in with a peer or a colleague, if you feel in a particular assignment, that you pick up and you reach out to us. Anything clinical, Marion will jump on. Anything non-clinical, I certainly will jump on. But that's the moral to the story is we don't want you to feel you're there to handle everything and anything. You're there to provide quality care to patients that are in need, and your 100% focus should be on that. I guess what I would add. I think that's all of the discussions. Couple other topics again, because we're just getting a little bit short of time here. I mean, we would be remiss to not mention anything about and the experiences of COVID and what we went through. Listen, this was a challenging time for everybody. I'm extremely proud by those two groups of individuals. One, our internal here and the way that they handled themselves, environment, working from home, the purchasing of all PPEs for nurses that were calling us. They didn't have the necessary PPEs. We went out, fortunately had to dabble in that black market, but we did so. We did so to make sure that gloves were had, masks were had, shields were had, these covers were had. You name it, we did it. Marion was basically an Amazon warehouse getting PPEs out to everybody. So it was important. I think that ourselves really well to our staff, to the nurses that were out there representing us. Wow. I mean, we were in utter awe with the job that you had done, with the handling of some very, very, very unfortunate situations. We hope that we provided to you as much as what you provided to us. And I think that it goes without saying, there's not enough words that can be about how well and how proud we are to have witnessed this firsthand. And again, it's not just about that. It's about what you do now. COVID's not gone. It won't be gone. It's about everyday clinical work. one of my last topics, and then I'm going to turn it over to Marion, was the lovely Northeast and Northeast weather. With the Northeast weather can be tricky here. Again, I challenge anyone that has gone above and beyond what we have done with regards to making sure that our clinicians get to and from work. We've done the hotel stays. We've utilized our business Uber to exhaustion. It is important that our professionals not are just working, but are getting to and from work, safely. Paramount. Care cannot be provided if the nurses never got there. We don't want you traveling in a monsoon or a snowstorm. So yes, absolutely. Nurses 24/7 will dedicate itself to make sure you have accommodations to get to and from work. That's Meredith. The stage is all yours.
Which is pretty unheard of in this market. And I thought they were crazy when they said it, but let me tell you, the amount of people who did well, who did well during the storm, and we're very grateful that they were safe. We were very grateful that they were safe and were able to do their shifts, and assist the medical centers. We're going to end up, I think, on a final note, a personal note for me, and why, as a nurse, I am very proud to be part of Nurses 24/7 and the nursing director. But prior to that, I was a nurse who was on an assignment, like I said, for 3 months, wound up being 3.5 years. I was put up in a beautiful apartment, and unfortunately, one day the apartment building burnt down. Not only with me as a nurse, but a couple other nurses. Fortunately, nobody got hurt in the situation, but belongings were lost, and it could have been an absolutely tragic situation. But Nurses 24/7 and myself, barely knowing the administration, just knowing the staffing and the recruiters, they took care of me. They made sure that my belongings were packed up and put in storage, that the furniture, all the rental furniture, was taken out. And they put me into a hotel for over a month and a half. Excuse me. So that was something that I had never experienced and never expected from a company to have my back in that regard. I did not miss work. I did not miss anything personally. I didn't skip a beat. And a fire like that can be tragic to anyone, and it barely affected my personal life or my work life. And that's a true testament to who these people are and why I'm so proud to be part of their team. So I hope we could do the same thing for you. Even when we don't know they're looking out for us, we are certainly looking out for you. And we would love to have you part of our team. So please ask us any questions anytime. We're available for calls, and we'd love to have you.
Awesome. Thank you, Marion. And it was our pleasure. Kev, you have anything you want to add to this in closing?
No, it was just unique. The phone rang after Marion asked if anyone wanted to reach out to us. The phone rang, so I thought someone was calling in right away. But we'll bring Steve back in here. But I love getting the opportunity to do these type of things. I love the opportunity to work with the Gypsy Nurse, and our relationship with them just continues to grow because our agency is just so pro-nurse, and to get the opportunity to be able to speak to the nurse is something that we don't really get to do often. And we really feel that our agency is a community that is pro-nurse, and to partner up with the Gypsy Nurse, who's got a community of great travel nurses in themselves, and they do such great work. It's such a great opportunity to get out there and talk to the nurse and thank them for everything that they do, and also give us the opportunity to talk about what we can provide them from an agency standpoint. So, again, Steve, thank you for giving us this opportunity today. And, we look forward to jumping on more and continue to talk about some of the great work we're doing as an agency, and also learn more about the great work you guys are doing as a Gypsy Nurse.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for the kind words. And, on behalf of the Gypsy Nurse, we appreciate the sponsorship of Nurses 24/7. We are very pleased to be working with you guys. It's quite clear through this session that you guys are nurse-centric, which is so incredibly important to the travel nursing community. I think your personal stories in terms of how you began working with the organization and what you value are very, very compelling. And I think for the travel nurse community, that's always of interest. We can see through the discussion we've had here over the past hour, your passion, your dedication, and your focus on travel nursing and what it means to each of you. So I think it's a very compelling message coming from the Nurses 24/7 team. And again, we certainly appreciate your sponsorship. In closing, I'd just like to say that if folks would like to learn more about Nurses 24/7, they can visit the website nurses247.com. It sounds like you guys, the phones are already ringing, as they used to say. So it seems like you guys are a very personable and approachable team. And I think that if anybody were interested in working with the organization and wanted to learn more, it seems like every member of the team would be very willing to speak to anybody that has additional questions. Also, too, Nurses 24/7, as a sponsor of the Gypsy Nurse, has a presence on our website. All of their jobs are available on our website, thegypsynurse.com. They have an agency page. So we've got people covered on both sides relative to information about Nurses 24/7. So again, Kevin Malecki, the VP and Chief Operating Officer of Nurses 24/7, Mary McLean, the Chief Nursing Officer, and Kevin Grimes, the Recruiting Manager for Nurses 24/7. We thank you for spending time with our community today. We appreciate your sponsorship, and we look forward to talking with you in the future.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Thank you,
Pleasure's
Steve.
all ours. Thank you for having us.